Is chasing the meta actually good for F2P players, or is it the reason your account never feels finished? This might change how you play entirely. If you're free to play in Rise of Kingdoms, you've probably been fed the same lie over and over. Just chase the meta. New commanders drop, tier lists flip, and suddenly everyone's telling you that if you don't switch right now, you're throwing your KVK, even if it means burning gold heads you'll never get back. If you're new here, I'm Gumbo, a free-to-play Rise of Kingdoms player, and I've watched more F2P accounts get soft-deleted by meta-chasing than by whales, rallies, or bad fighting combined. Here's what chasing the meta actually does to free-to-play players in Rise of Kingdoms. You're always behind. Behind on commanders, behind on gear, behind on armaments. And if you end up in higher seed KVKs, you're suddenly fighting players who have been building the same marches for years. Because when you chase the meta, nothing on your account ever gets finished. One KVK, you're building infantry. Next KVK, the meta flips, and now it's cavalry, then archers. So now you're staring at armaments like, cool, which one of these am I supposed to ruin my account with? And while you're still deciding, you're walking into KVK with a purple gear set, maybe one gold piece you got lucky critting at 3 a.m., fighting whales in fully iconic, fully crit legendary gear stacked with multiple special inscriptions. That's not a fight, that's a donation. You're not trading, you're not testing the matchup, you're not outplaying anyone. You're just burning speed-ups, incinerating resources, and inflating someone else's kill points while your hospital invoice looks like a mortgage payment. That's the part nobody puts in a tier list. Chasing the meta doesn't make you competitive as an F2P player. It just guarantees you show up unfinished in a game where unfinished accounts get punished immediately. You're not competing in KVK anymore, you're just part of the whale diet. Alright, if that just personally attacked you, relax. If you're a free-to-play or low-spender player in Rise of Kingdoms and you've been chasing the meta, you're not bad at the game. You're not stupid, you're not cursed, and no, your account isn't ruined because you built the wrong commander back in the day. You didn't mess up because you lack skill. You messed up because Rise of Kingdoms politely suggests F2P players should play like whales, while handing you a free-to-play budget and a prayer. Now here's the part that actually fixes things. As a free-to-play player, you win by focusing, not by flexing. That usually means committing to one troop type. One troop type means you know exactly what gear to craft, exactly which blueprints to chase, exactly which armaments actually make sense, and your tech isn't spread so thin it looks like a credit card swipe apology. And yes, eventually, if you grind more, manage your resources well, and can consistently produce materials, blueprints, and push crystal tech to a solid level, you can extend into a dual troop type account. But that comes after you've built depth, not before. Most F2P players don't fail because they lack options. They fail because they try to play too many options at once. If this helped you rethink how you play Rise of Kingdoms as a free-to-play player, even a little, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I focus on practical F2P strategy, KVK decision-making, and avoiding the mistakes that quietly set accounts back months. Now, here's where most F2P players mess this up, because the question isn't just, should I chase the meta? It's, what do you do with extra gold heads once your core is built? And this is the part nobody explains properly. Yes, you can still play the meta as an F2P player, but only after your foundation is finished. In the next part, I'm going to break down what extra gold heads actually means for F2P, when investing into meta commanders makes sense, and how to dip into the meta without resetting your progress or becoming whale food again. Because playing the meta isn't the problem, playing it too early is. And this is where every F2P player's brain completely short-circuits. Because right about now, someone's screaming at their phone, okay, Gumbo, but what about the game-breaking commanders? What about the ones that don't care about troop types? What about the ones that warp the entire battlefield? What about the QSHs of the world? Now you're spiraling. You're sitting there like, all right, I'm infantry main, but QSH isn't infantry, but he's broken, but I already built gear, but what if I'm trolling, but what if everyone else has him, but what if I regret this forever? Congratulations, you've officially entered F2P panic mode. Because game breaking sounds like if you don't build it, you lose. If you skip it, you're behind. If you hesitate, your account is cooked, deleted, and sent to farm jail. And this is where people blow up months, sometimes years of progress in one emotional decision. Here's the reality check. A commander being game-breaking does not mean it's account saving for F2P. Because the moment that commander pulls you off your gear path, makes your armaments a guessing game, forces you to split tech, or delays finishing your core marches, it's not breaking the game, it's breaking your account. And the wild part? Whales can afford to panic build. F2P players cannot. When a whale builds QSH on a whim, it's Tuesday. When an F2P does it, it's a 6-month financial decision. All right, deep breath, let's calm this down. Here's the reality for free-to-play players in Rise of Kingdoms. When you mono-troop, something magical starts happening. You stop bleeding gold heads, and suddenly you have extra. And that's where F2P players actually get options, because excess gold heads give you the freedom to make niche investments. Maybe you want to build a trap city. Maybe you want a siege march for specific situations. Maybe you want to mess around a little after your foundation is done. And that part matters. Your foundation should come first. For most F2P players, that looks like 2 to 3 fully built marches of your main troop type, solid gear you actually finished, clear armaments and formation choices, and maybe 1 siege march if you're feeling spicy. That alone puts you in a really good spot. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. People love saying QSH will never be power creeped. And look, I get it, he's strong. But as a veteran player, let me tell you something real quick. We said the same thing about Attila. We said the same thing about Nevsky. They're not bad now, they're just not what they used to be. And that's the lesson. So instead of panic building every game-breaking commander, you stay laser-focused early. You stockpile gold heads, blueprints, and formation choice chests. So when the game actually drops a commander that is truly must-max, you don't panic. You just casually expertise them, slot them into rotation, and move on like a menace. Because when you invest as F2P, you're not looking for really good, you're looking for greatness. Meta comes and goes. Finished foundations don't. So, if you take anything from this video, let it be this. Chasing the meta won't save your F2P account. Finishing your foundation will. If this video gave you value, made you rethink how you play Rise of Kingdoms as a free-to-play player, even a little, go ahead and hit subscribe. I focus on practical F2P guides, KVK strategy, and real advice for players who want to stay competitive without living in the game or swiping their credit card into oblivion. I'm going to throw a couple videos up on the end card that go deeper into F2P. Check those out next if you want to keep leveling up your account without becoming whale food again. Take care, my beautiful noobs. Play smart, stay focused, and pleb out.